Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on the channel, and I want to do a little video here. I'm going to do a little news video after this, but I wanted to do this first. Kind of want to talk more about Kentucky football. Last night, they fired Mark Stoops. I done a 14-minute video on that, gave my thoughts. Talked about how I was thankful for the first 9 years, last 4 years were a disaster, yada yada. Go watch that, don't feel like explaining that again. But I want to talk about the coaching search. Who should Kentucky hire? And before I get to who I think they should hire, I want to go over some things. Their candidates, hot boards, names to watch from Kentucky, from Wildcats Insiders. So let's get into it from this little article, here by CBS Sports. So obviously Kentucky became the 6th SEC team involved in a football coaching search this year when they fired Mark Stoops on Sunday night. He's owed $38 million, which actually is a little update here I want to share of how this came about. How are they paying the buyout? I want to mention that right quick because obviously I didn't do that last night, I don't think. But as I'm trying to find it here, read the little rest of this here. So, a sum that many thought would prevent this change from occurring, $38 million, $38 million buyout, something like that. However, made the move, met the athletic director, Mitch Barnhart. He should be gone too for even giving Mark Stoops $38 million. We got lucky because what I'm about to read really wasn't Mitch Barnhart. It was Mark Stoops was willing to negotiate. So he got lucky because lifetime contract with Cal, that money with Stoops, he got lucky. He was able to just kind of get out of it. But if I scroll down here and find it because there's so many fucking tweets for some reason. But yes, here it is. Once it loads, so Stoops, we knew he was never going to walk away on his own, he said it himself. But when Kentucky approached him about a separation, he said he would be willing to negotiate an agreement allowing UK to spread out the payments over a number of years instead of paying $38 million buyout within 60 days of his firing. And, respect me, and at least he's not a sore loser about it. Like I say, I love Mark Stoops for what he did the first 9 years. Last 4 years didn't go great. It was time to go. Time to separate. And pretty sure this is true, so at least he's leaving in good faith. That clause alone should fire Mitch Barnhart too, honestly. And that lifetime contract, and Calipari's lifetime contract, the Billy G fiasco, extending Kyra Elsie in the women's team, even hiring Joker Phillips when he did. I have cause to fire Mitch Barnhart because I hate him. But yeah, respect Mark Stoops. It shows he cares about the university's success and not just himself. So, great. Class act mode. Let's see if, it's how most, I found this part maybe. I don't know if it's how most buyouts are done. I shouldn't even gave him $38 million, man. But I felt last year's Mark Stoops kind of just checked out, personally, but yeah, but that's the little update there. That's really how this came about, how they were able to, get this buyout was really because Mark Stoops was really willing to negotiate and have the money spread out over years. I don't know how many, but it's years. So, the top candidates, obviously, that I'm going to mention here. I think some I mentioned in the video last night, but one name that the staff has identified as a potential target on their coaching hot board is the Ohio State offensive coordinator, Brian Hartline. I mentioned he's an accomplished college and NFL receiver. He joined the Ohio State staff in 2017 as a quality control coach and has worked his way all the way up to the play-calling offensive coordinator. He's viewed as a dominant recruiter and developer of receivers. He's worked with might be Marvin Harrison Jr., Jackson Smith and Jigba, Jeremiah Smith, and many other first-round caliber talents. The Canton, Ohio native has spent all of his collegiate career, coaching career with the Buckeyes dating back to 2017, said Josh Edwards. His brother Mike Hartline plays quarterback at Kentucky. He's a current offensive quality control coach for the Cats. For the first time in his career, Hartline is calling plays for the #1 nationally ranked program and defending national champions. His forte has been recruiting and developing receivers. Obviously, the next name is I mentioned. Is who I think Kentucky will get, but we'll see. Will Stein, the Oregon offensive coordinator. But there's been a bunch of different reports and shit like that. But I'm not even gonna bother to talk about them because I don't even know if these are legit. People are like, oh, they've already hired Will Stein. They're waiting for tomorrow or whatever. There's a bunch of flights. Whenever the report, whenever it's official, I'll be here whenever they hire a coach. But the next name is Will Stein, Oregon offensive coordinator. Now, these are two highly thought of offensive coordinators. Both have some ties to the state of Kentucky. Stein played QB at Louisville and started his coaching career there. Hartline's younger brother Mike was a member of Kentucky's staff this season and is a former QB for the Wildcats. So these two have ties to the state of Kentucky, at least in some sort of capacity. I think either one of these two would be a great hire because they're really good offensive minds. I'm not sure why a team like Penn State, for example, isn't looking at either of these two, especially Brian Hartline. I don't know why Penn State isn't looking at either of these guys because they ain't hired a coach yet. Well, I think they're looking at the Penn State coach, but anyways, this isn't about them. But this is the first day of the coaching search, but I want to give there's positives to both. You're not making a wrong turn regardless with who you go with these two. There's positives really to both because Stein is a young, smart offensive mind who's in charge of a top 10 offense and is known as a QB whisperer. Not to mention he grew up a big Kentucky fan. He understands the fan base and would likely be here for years if there's success at the university. And also you can get him for cheap probably compared to most. Hartline. He's a fantastic recruiter. He's developed some of the absolute best receivers in the nation and countless NFL talent. He's also helped develop the likes of C.J. Stroud, Justin Fields at Ohio State. Well, Justin Fields hasn't been good at the NFL level, but you know what I mean. Obviously, his brother played and coaches at Kentucky and has had a small hand in developing Cutter, but some would wonder how long he would stay because he was being groomed as a head coach and waiting at Ohio State. So, either way, I think you're getting a home run here. I think just be excited and ready to roll into this new era. If I had to pick, I would rather have Hartline, but now I think about it, there's a chance Stein would stay if successful. I feel like Hartline 100% would leave as soon as Ohio State calls him. I don't know. But I think either one of these would be fantastic hirings. And Oregon's offenses the last 3 years has been one of the best offenses in college football, averaging high 30 points per game. If you got Will Stein or Brian Hartline, I think you would be bringing a pretty good transfers and recruiting, especially Brian Hartline. He would bring in probably some pretty damn good recruits. But for the first time in a long time, Kentucky football has to have a coaching search. It's just really coming off those last two games. You lose a combined score 86-17. It was time. Now we're really just playing the waiting game at this point. Kind of just playing the waiting game right now. Obviously, I've already mentioned other names. I mentioned some other names last night. I think I mentioned Dan Mullen. I know he had that one bad year at Florida and they got fired. And he got fired. But he's really had success everywhere, man. Like Mississippi State, he had them at #1 in the country. Florida, he had some pretty good success with Florida. Besides that 1 year and he got fired. He's had a 10-2 season at UNLV. Obviously, he's not my #1. If I had to rank these three, I would probably go Hartline, Will Stein, and then Dan Mullen. But Dan Mullen wouldn't be a bad hire. He has no personal ties to Kentucky. He was hired at Florida by the former UK associate AD Scott Strickland. But he has something else just as valuable. He has winning experience in the SEC at a program that's not a traditional powerhouse. Kentucky understands that path well. So, Dan Mullen's another name. And while these three make the most sense, I've seen some other names like Georgia's defensive coordinator, Brian Kelly. When you look at these names together, a clear picture forms. Kentucky wants someone who understands modern college football, can adapt quickly to the roster building, the NIL, transfer portal. You pair your new coach with the roster GM, a sign of where the sport has moved. And these candidates fit that direction in different ways. Stein brings innovation, local roots. Hartline brings elite recruiting and a family connection. Mullen brings proven SEC success before and a steady hand. Kentucky's not expected to drag its feet with the transfer portal open and signing day approaching. Time matters more than ever. Look, Stoops built a foundation that changed Kentucky football. Now the focus shifts to who will lead the next era. The list to me is clear. These are probably the top three. I would just narrow it down to the top two. I don't think they'll hire Dan Mullen. I think it's kind of just down the top two. There's probably more candidates, maybe, than these three, but I would say these are the most likely. But who do I think Kentucky will hire? I'm thinking they will hire Will Stein, if I'm going to give a final prediction, but we'll see. But yeah, that's all to say. Leave a like, comment, subscribe for more. Peace, and leave your thoughts in the comments below who you think Kentucky will hire.